Good evening. My name is Yankee Klein, as you've just heard, and I'm here on behalf of my wife and myself. First of all, I would like to join all those before me, wishing Mazel Tov to the Messiahim. I only arrived towards the end of Seder Beis, but I felt like after you finished in Simchas Torah in your shul, and you go and you join the next door, the second minyan, and you only come in for the end of the seventh hakofa, you know what it's been like by the last hakofa. You can see what the rest was like by the last few moments. And all I can say is I'm jealous. I'm actually here to try and open a window, open a door to a certain specific aspect of infertility. And I'll start with our journey. We got married on Zayin Odor, Tovshin Samach Beis. That's 2002. In a moshav next to Yerushalayim. After a few months, we decided we want to do something a bit more interesting. We found a community in Venezuela, South America. They were looking for teachers. Everything was planned. Last thing we had to check, health insurance in place. We've been married for a few months and, you have to be covered. It's obviously probably going to come sometime soon. I need to make sure everything is in place. We were there for a while. We came back. Coming back, talking to Eretz Yisrael, where we both were born. After a while, from there, we moved to London, England. A few years gone by. My younger siblings got married. They had 3, 4 children. My wife's nieces and nephews. We started getting phone calls. Are you coming for the wedding? Are you coming for this engagement? And then it seemed like a week later, another phone call. Mazel Tov. They had a baby boy. They had a baby girl. Gee. Maybe it's not very popular here, but we were happy. We were happy for them. Honestly, I can say we were very happy for them. Some more time passed by, and whatever I've missed on biology lessons in Cheder, which we never had, obviously, I made up. You start learning about all different numbers, different things, different weird words I've never heard of, never knew exist. And at the same time, Sgulas as well started piling up. Over the years, the Sgulas became a bit more extreme and much more promising. This will definitely work. You have to try that. I know my neighbor, her nephew, had a neighbor that will definitely work. One thing I know, every Erev Pesach I had to make sure my pockets were empty from the leftover arbes from all different Sholem Zachos, which are Sgula, garlic from all different Pidyon Abens and all the rest. I want to share with you a Gemara in Pesachim, Daf Nun Daled Amud Beis. The Gemara says, Shivot Dvorim mechusim mibnei Odom ve'elu hein. 7 things are covered, are hidden from us, from human being. And the Gemara starts listing them. The first one is Yom HaMisa. Second is Yom HaNechama, and the Gemara goes on with the rest. Rashi says, what's Yom HaNechama? Mosai yisnochem Odom mida'agosoi. A person doesn't know when his nechama is due to come. The Ben Yehoyada says that it's an amazing way of midas adin, to the right level. If a person has a tzorah and he knows now that within 6 months it's over, okay, we can live with it. On the other hand, if he knows he has to deal with it for another 30 years, his tsar is 10 times more than just not knowing. So it's a diuk in midas adin that a person doesn't know his time of nechama. I know of a couple in Eretz Yisrael, but just almost 40 years ago, they were married for a few years and they never had children. They went to a doctor in Eretz Yisrael. He didn't have good news for them. They went to a big professor in England. And shneim ledavar echad niskavnu, they both said the same thing. They said, the bottom line was, look at other things to put your effort in. You're wasting your time. They went to an Adam Gadol in Eretz Yisrael, and his words were, Yeh beseder. 9 months later, they had the baby girl. The happy father called the professor in England. He was very excited. He calls him. He says, Professor, it's Mr. So-and-so calling. Sir, I've told you many times before, you're wasting your time. Yeah, but Professor, you don't understand. I actually wanted to share some good news. We had a baby girl born today. As I said, this is impossible. And he hanged up the phone. I am the third child out of 5 of those impossible children to be. There is one problem. The Gemara says, Yom HaNechama is not noida, we don't know. Seems like there is always a Yom HaNechama. I apologize, Rabbi Ozeri. But when it comes to infertility, unfortunately, I don't think you can promise there is a Yom HaNechama. And that's the subject I would like to touch on. The unknown. And back to our lives. My wife has a beautiful minhag. Every week by Wednesday evening, the table is laid, the candles are ready. For years already. Sometimes I stand there and I think, it's possible that there will be no one to stand there one day and say, I do the same because I saw my mummy doing that. About 2.5 years ago, things looked promising. Numbers looked good, doctors were positive, and then suddenly, maybe we're not so sure. We should check again. We should test that. We don't know. Maybe yes, maybe not. Actually, went on for a few weeks, good few weeks. Came Erev Yom Kippur. We had a shaila to do with Tanis. Details, this, that. We went to our Rav, Dayan Lopien. I went to him. And he saw the numbers. I used to learn with him. I was very close to him. He looked at the numbers. He didn't say a word. He opened his arms. He said, come here. He gave me a big hug. He started crying. We cried together for a few minutes. And he didn't have to say anything else. No more. I walked out and I knew this Yom Kippur will be exactly the same like the past few Yom Kippurs. You can try and imagine. Join me to that Nesanet Toikef that year. When I stand there and I say, Be'oish hashon ho yikoseivu u'be'yoim toim kipu yechoseimu The Lashon says kamo and kamo. We didn't ask kamo, we asked if any. רב אברהם ישעיה, אני אפנה לך בעברית. הייתי אצל אבא, והוא לא הבטיח. אבא אמר, תתפלל. I went to Reb Chaim Kanievsky. There was no promises. He said, keep davening. And that's where A-Time stepped in. Where you think to yourself, yes, no, should we? No one can promise. No one said Yom HaNechama is here, around the corner. But what they said was the keys are in the hand of Hashem. And you have to do ishtadlus, and we are here for you. A-Time America spread out around the world. They go to England, they go to other places. They do many, many, many good things. They have their support line. They have their amazing Shabboses. They have the advice. They have obviously the financial support. But another important thing, which I'm talking about today, is that push. Last year, the night before Tani Sester, I was driving, officially looking for costumes for Purim. The Maisa, we were sitting, my wife and myself in the car. We were both crying. We were crying. We were crying of joy because that same day was the first time ever we saw a heartbeat. But we were crying from fear. That fear, if I may say, when Avraham Avinu, the Torah says Avraham Avinu was laughing when Hashem told him he's going to have a son. The Targum says he was happy. V'chadi. When Sarah was laughing, it says she laughed. She dismissed. And there's an argument between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Sarah. Why did you laugh? No, I didn't laugh. Yes, you did laugh. And the pshat in the pasuk is, she said, I didn't laugh. And why did she say she didn't laugh? Because she was afraid to say the truth. But I think it might be another way of explaining it. She said she didn't laugh. She says, Lo tzachakti, I did not laugh. Ki bat yoreo, I was afraid. The reason I didn't want to be happy, I didn't want to bring my hopes up, was because I was afraid of the disappointment. I was afraid of the pain. And it does hurt. It does hurt. Last Yom Kippur was another Yom Kippur of tefillas, tears. And that same night, Moitzi Yom Kippur, we went into hospital, and a day and a half later, we had our baby son born. We called our son Shmuel Gershon. Gershon after that Dayan Lopien, Zichrono Livrocha, that was nifter a few months after that story. And Shmuel, for the actual meaning of the name, Ki Me'Hashem She'iltihu, there are two pshatim. One She'iltihu, Miloshen Bakoshe, and one She'iltihu, Miloshen Shoyel. He's not ours. He's a Pikodon. We are Shoyalim from the Eibishter. And I have a message, first of all to A-Time. No words. I should stand here for minutes. I know my time is long over. But there are no words to thank A-Time UK, A-Time America. There would be no Shmuel Gershon without A-Time. And I would like to tell the Loimdim, Sheli v'shelo, shelochemu. My son, my wife's son, our Shmuel Gershon, is not only ours. He is each and every one of yours. He is your son. Your schusim of Torah, your tefillas. You being able to support, you supporting A-Time to be able to do what they do. You have a part in many, 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 many Yiddish children. And last, a few personal words to the couples. Be friends. Be friends to each other. All you have is each other. Stand by the side of each other. Talk to each other. You can grow from it. Make your home ready for a baby. Bring happiness in. And last, don't give up. Don't give up. Whatever you're told, whatever happens, and it does hurt. It is risky to bring your hopes up. You might have disappointments. You might have pain. But please, don't give up. I'd like to end with a tefillah together. Oy v'rachamecha mizgoylelim, mizgoylelim.